Hey everyone, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am your host, the Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10ish minute review. Okay, before I get to the review, just a reminder, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. If you've been a longtime viewer, please hit the like button. I get 500 views and I get 7 likes. I'm starting to take it personally, okay? That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so Mission Impossible, the final chapter is out. So someone recommended a espionage movie, not really a spy movie. It's more espionage, and it was recommended by at Diogiri Yadav 8399. Diogiri Yadav 8399. And the film he wanted me to watch was 2013's D-Day. It's directed by Nikhil Advani, who directed Kal Ho Naa Ho. It stars Irrfan Khan, who I just saw in Billu. I've also seen him in the Lunchbox. He was in a Spider-Man movie too. Rishi Kapoor, who plays the bad guy, very well, by the way. Agneepath in Fanaa. Arjun Rampal, who was in Ra.One, Om Shanti Om, and Dawn. Huma Qureshi, who was in Games of Wasseypur. Akash Dahaya, who was in Gangs of Wasseypur, PK, and Rockstar. And Nassar, who was in Bahubali 1 and 2, Anion, and Game Changer. A couple things about this film. Irrfan Khan and Rishi Kapoor died a day apart in April of 2020. Goldman, the bad guy, I think his name was By Goldman, was based on a real life crime boss and terrorist. His name was Dawood Ibrahim. And this story takes place after the blasts, the 13 bomb attacks in Mumbai that injured 700 and killed many people. It starts in February 2013, and the whole story is around Operation Goldman, which is to bring this boss terrorist back to India for justice. Alive. They want to bring him back alive. And how they're going to do that. And it opens right away with that operation that so they set that up. Now they flash back 40 hours where they start doing backstories. And Irfan's character is an agent, but I don't think you'd call him a field agent. He's got a family, and they show that background, loving family, loving wife. So they set that right away. And they also talk about Ra, who is the one that's implementing this covert operation into Pakistan to get Goldman. It's off the books, plausible deniability. And the Ra director is about to retire, and he wants to see this before he retires. Now they introduce each agent one at a time. And it reminded me of Mission Impossible, the way they introduced them. They also have Irrfan doing a voiceover to explain part of the story, which is never good in a film, I don't think. So that's the story as they prepare for this operation that you've already seen in the beginning. And you see it goes a little sideways, right? Now they do all the background of it. And there's some great scenes in it. Like at one point, he's undercover working in Pakistan, and he's got a neighbor that he's pretty friendly with. So he goes to buy guns, and his neighbor shows up. And there's a huge fight and chase scene with that. And it's a really good scene. Then the younger agent, who is a field agent, big guy, and he's definitely the brawn of the group. He ends up hooking up with a prostitute. And the thing about that was it was weird the way you thought she was going to be more to the story than she ended up being. Like I thought she was a double agent or something, but it ends up she was a prostitute. And she ends up getting killed by the son or the nephew of the head bad guy. And he exacts his revenge on that person because he fell in love with her. They constantly do a countdown. And then so now the guy finds out who killed the prostitute. He ends up killing that person. And there's a scene where he's got blood all over him and he's washing his hands. It's awful. It's awful. So 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 they botch the extraction. And by the way, very tense. This movie is very tense, almost start to finish. There's very little breathe time. They're on a clock. They've got a, everything's timed perfectly. It goes sideways. Someone gets shot. Um, and this Goldman guy doesn't seem to be worried because he's got everybody in his pocket. So the first half of the movie is planning of the extraction. The second half is how are they going to get out of Pakistan with Goldman, which seems like there's no way this is going to be possible, right? And they lose agents along the way. Um, and they even get Irfan. Now, his character's name was Vali Khan. So, as they're trying to get him out of Pakistan, the cops get a hold of his wife and his son and using it as leverage against them. So now they show him faltering. Does he really want to go through with this and bring this guy to India when it could mean the death of his wife and child? And they play that out to the point where he ends up shooting that agent Rudra because he's not going to go through with it, or so you're led to believe. Now, this is what I really, and I loved the way this movie plodded along. Um, it was like I said, it was very tense, but the end of it, and if you haven't seen it, I guess I have to say this will be a spoiler. Okay, so if you haven't seen it and you want, and you, if you like this type of film, I definitely recommend this. You want to see it, but I don't want to blow the ending for you. So I'll give you 5 seconds to step away from the phone or the computer. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so they set this up at the end, and it's tragic, heroic, and you just didn't see it coming. So he gives every indication that he's going to betray the team that he's with and give Goldman back to the Pakistanis. So he takes off in the car. He sticks the bad guy in the trunk and then takes off and is heading for the border. And as he goes to the border and he's getting closer and closer to the border, well, now they go back to the police department where the mother and child are there. And the cops give them food and drink. And as the scene moves along, the kids start shaking and the mother's freaking out. The food and the drinks were poisoned, probably with arsenic because they foamed at the mouth. So they're dead. And Irfan's character knew that they were going to be killed. So he does a little switcheroo. As he's driving towards the border, they shoot into the car and they show Irfan getting hit. And the car stops and he's dead. They open the trunk. Nobody's there because he was put in a different car. And Rudru was in on it. So when he shot him in the leg there, it was all part of the plan to convince Goldman that Irfan had turned. When the truth was, Irfan had every he wanted to do this. He knew he was going to die. He knew his family was going to die. And the retiring Raw agent meets him across the border. And this is, again, the end. Now, all of this was about getting him to India for justice. Well, they're on the other side. Pakistan can't come after them because they're past the border. And the Goldman starts monologuing. And I knew, once he started doing that, I knew it was going to happen, but it was still cool. So he's going on and on and on about how he's going to be a star. He's going to be a celebrity. blah, blah, blah. He goes on, and then Rudra shoots him right between the eyes. Boom. First there's a stunned look on his face, and then he goes down. And that was the movie. And it was really good. In fact, I'm going to give the story, I'll give the story a 5 because it had me the whole time. And that ending, and I'm usually pretty good at figuring that stuff out. No, not in this movie. Now the performances. Um, I thought they were all great. I thought Irrfan Khan, he's such an interesting actor to me in the films I've seen him in because he's very like reserved. He's not a like you look at some of the Indian actors, they're very broad and stuff that they do, right? Um, he's very intense and very kind of reserved, so that when he does explode, it's always a little bit shocking. And his his love for his family and the realization of what happened to them, or what was going to happen to them, is all in his face. But even the guy who played Arjun Rampal, who played Rudra, the stuff he went through as a mercenary, who falls in love with a prostitute and gets revenge on the person that killed her, the emotions that he goes through. And he got shot and he was hurt pretty bad. And there was also a female agent who was good in this, and there was another agent who sacrificed himself. So, and the bad guy was, I thought Goldman was, he played it really, really well. So I'm going to give the performances a 4. I thought they were all really good. Now the music, there wasn't a ton of it. And there probably shouldn't be in a movie like this, but the first song is Irfan's entrance at this party. Now this is the beginning of the film where they show you a little bit of the extraction, and the song is the Red Robe God because I think he's at a wedding or an engagement. The second song, and that was a good number, right? So you're like, okay, so it was appropriate. It wasn't out of place. The second song is when the agent's with the prostitute, and it's coming from the radio. So again, it wasn't like separate. It was organic to the scene. The third song was at a prayer scene. Okay, again, not this big production number, so it fit. The fourth song, the prostitute got killed by one of the bad guys. He wipes the blood on the agent's shirt, and then he walks to her place, imagining her or what happened. So he goes back to her place and is envisioning the death of her. And the song that's playing as the story is incomplete. So again, it's not a production number. It's not a dance number. It's in the background. And then finally, the fifth song is when he drives Goldman to the border and they shoot up his car. And that was appropriate for that scene. So again, I thought the music was fine. Nothing extraneous, no ridiculous Bollywood number. It wasn't like that because this film wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. So I give the music a 3. I thought the music was fine. My verdict on the film, solid 4. Definitely a solid 4. I really enjoyed it. It was a very tense film. And Irfan, and it's a shame because, I haven't seen all his. I think I've seen about 4 Indian films with him in it, and obviously a Jurassic Park he was in, not the original, one of the sequels, and he was in a Spider-Man film. So I haven't seen a lot of him, but he's a very interesting actor. And I just reviewed Biloo, and I thought he was great in that too. It was so different. Like, SRK was SRK, but Irfan is a much more grounded actor, I think, and a quiet actor. That's a good word for him, quiet. So it's a shame that he's gone because he's really good in this, and I'm looking forward to more films with him in it. So that's my review of D-Day. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. I'm curious if you've seen this. Did you like it? What are your thoughts on that? Okay. So my recommendation. I'm going to go to my display case back here, and I am going to pick that film right there. An incredible movie. And I gotta give you the year of it because I'm not sure of the year. I think was it 84? The film is my recommendation is RoboCop, the original RoboCop. Um, it's a fantastic movie. 1987. Okay, it's directed by Paul Verhoeven. It stars Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Ronnie Cox, who's beautifully smarmy in that, and Kurtwood Smith, who plays Clarence Boddicker, who's a fantastic villain. The thing about the film is it is incredibly violent. Um, and that scene where Alex Murphy gets killed, and if you ever seen the director's cut, it's a much longer scene. They cut it down, and I'm kind of glad they did because it's really graphic. But that scene is brutal, and and the violence, the comedy, because it is a funny film, and it's also a satire of weaponry corporations, TV networks. I'll buy that for $1. How many times you heard that quote? Thank you for your cooperation. Um, and Peter Weller's fantastic in this film as RoboCop, his movements, and if you ever watch the making of this film, that costume was like wasn't ready up until almost the day of shooting. And even then, they had to make some changes to it because he couldn't walk in it. But he took yoga and all this other stuff. But the humanity behind it, when they actually take the helmet off, and what he shows in his eyes is amazing. And there's a lot of great scenes in it. I mean, the Ed 209 scene is one of my favorites, where Dick Jones creates this because he hates RoboCop. He creates that you can see it right there. As a matter of fact, Ed 209. Wait a minute, let me show you.
Yes, sir.
Ed 209 is in the boardroom, and you have 20 seconds to comply. That's just a great scene. A funny, a brutal, violent, funny scene, right? And that's what the whole movie is about. But that's a great film. And if you look at the other, like the remake that they made, which was horrible, there was a TV series that they went. Even the sequel went PG-13. Nothing like this film. And this film worked because of how violent it was, and how funny it was. And it was funny. So if you haven't seen it, check out RoboCop, okay? It is a classic, iconic film, and I recommend it strongly. Okay, so that's it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. And as always, please share so we can build this maniac community to bigger and better heights. I need your help for that, okay? The subscriptions have slowed down. Maybe you guys got to give me a recommendation that's going to get me a lot of views, okay? Tell me what I should watch. I'm going to go see Thug Life. I think that'll get me some views, but the movies just aren't doing it. So help me out here. Help me out. What can I watch that's going to get some clicks over here? Or is it me? Maybe it's me. I think it's me. Are you telling it's not me, it's you? It's not you, it's me? All right, that's it. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with either a 10ish minute review or a 10ish minute trailer reaction. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.